Welcome, intrepid viewers. Here I am for a moment in time. I'm going to be away much longer than I thought with family business, so I'm now living out of 2 suitcases instead of 1. So I made sure the TOS deck was in the second suitcase. So here we go. What I wanted to look at was Bar again, and now, and what's he going to produce for mid-April and all of that. So let's have a squiz, as we say here. Let's have a squiz at what's happening. William Barr. At the moment, Muller has presumably put his feet up and had more than one beer. It's Barr's turn to be the most important man in America in the coming months. So we have to keep a very close eye on Barr. So what's his game? What's he really doing? What's he up to? What's he thinking? So because I'm on the little table, I'll do it in bite-sized questions here. What is Barr up to? I still don't think he's the worst person in the world. I'm really hoping that he's got a more wholesome agenda, but you never know. So let's do a general one on Barr first, and then we'll ask a few penetrating questions. Let's go. So, Barr. 9 of discs. Well, actually, I'd have to say, just at a quick glance of these cards, you wouldn't want to be in Barr's shoes. All right. He thought he was up for it. He'd rather he was the one doing it than watch someone else do it, but it's a nightmare, basically. But let's have a closer look here. He gets the 9 of Pentacles here, which is gain, which is movement forward, but also he feels that he's doing the right thing. Whether you and I agree with that is another story, but he feels he's doing the right thing. Okay. Behind him, change in the TOS deck. So it's also can be a card of manipulation and change. He is doing the biggest juggle on the world stage. And so that's when he agreed to take on this role. He feels that underneath here, he feels success, that he and Muller have struck a bargain that is in the best interest of the country. I will say quite clearly at this point, he's not self-motivated. He is looking at the best interest of the country. I'm relieved to see that. On top, though, there's the 5 of Wands, which is conflict. He knew, Muller knew, they knew what most of us suspected. The only real justification for putting out on day one that particular boom of news about no collusion by Trump with Russia, that it would lead to conflict. This is the card of conflict. It's also his self-conflict. He agonized over it. I'm pleased to see that as well. It wasn't his first call. He agonized over it, but they felt that was the best thing. Then he gets the Judgment card or the Pharaoh card. He feels he's got it in hand. It might not be obvious to other people, but he feels he's got it in hand. So that's just sort of the general vibe. Barr feels he's acting for the country, he has the best interests of the country at heart, and that's what he, and possibly they, decided to do. So that brings us up to where we were, really. That's not news, that's what we thought, but it's confirming that. All right, so let's look at Barr in April, just from his personal point of view, and we'll see if it throws up anything specific on all this stuff. Barr, 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 Barr. Okay. April's not going to be fun for Barr either. The Ten of Swords. This could, it's actually a risk for him. It could bring him undone. Ooh. But then he gets the Sun to soften that. Okay. Knight of Wands, okay. And Ace of Discs for money. All right, I think I have a story for you, intrepid ones. Okay, jumping around a bit today because my brain's a bit split in many directions at the moment, so I'm doing a bit of jumping here. Bang in the middle, Ten of Swords, no way to dress it up, cow of a card, lots of personal pain and hardship. Behind him, this was his previous incarnation, if you like, as a mere mortal before this, abundance, he had it all, but now he's saddled in April with the Ten of Swords. But, like I said, the sun is shining on him, so he gets a bit of a reprieve there with the sun. That allows him to move forward as the Knight of Wands. Now, in the Rider-Waite deck, I call this the Cautious Knight, back and forth. This is a bit more dynamic in the Thoth deck. He's going for it, hellfire blazing. And what is he going for? He's going for the money, the Ace of Discs. I don't mean money for himself. I mean this is the Trump money and the Trump filth and corruption around money. So that helps explain a little bit, I think. I think Muller and Barr had more than one conflab, and they decided to let these other cases go forward, which Muller signed off on and sent mainly to New York, but to other places too. The money is what is going to bring Trump down. None of this other stuff. None of this other stuff. The trail of filthy money, which will also include Russian money laundering down the track. So where does this leave us with the lack of collusion charges now? So what's that about, William Barr? What were you thinking about the collusion? What did William Barr actually think about the collusion? Ah, the Empress. Oh, look. Oh, sorry. The game card again. Ah, this is interesting. All right, so the Empress is in the middle. This is often my Ivanka card. That's interesting in itself. I think this adds another dimension to why they decided not to go straight for the jugular for Trump with this, because it would involve Ivanka, and they would rather get her, or rather not be the ones to get her. Let the other parts of the judicial system get her. Underneath, we have the Three of Wands, overseas business interests going on here. Another three. We've got lots of threes. 3, 3, 3, and a 9. So there's lots of threes coming up here, troops. So this is, in the Thoth deck, the Three of Pentacles group work. Okay. So in terms of collusion, he knew that it was there too, right? Mullah knew, Barr knew, anyone with half a brain cell and a bit of commitment to following the news knew, right? But on top of this, we have, once again, the 9 of discs, gain. He felt to move the bigger picture forward, to not tear the country apart, it was more important to split the investigation. That's what I'm hearing here, psychically, splitting the investigation. So part of their conversations was about, look, there's probably enough to go with legally, but we can't have a probably. So what that meant, and I want to separate here, this is me as an observer as much as a tarot reader, that they had to trust that collusion had actually already been proved with Russia through Papadopoulos, through Carter Page, through Felix Sater, through all the others. So what I'm seeing here and what I'm hearing here is they colluded with Russia for Trump. In other words, it wasn't the Donald who did it. It was these people who did it for him. Do you see the dilemma that they had? Most of this stuff, including Don Jr. as well, was done for Trump, not by Trump. I think that's the actual kernel of the whole issue now at this point. They did it for him. He didn't do it. Bugger. That's all I've got to say about that. And he thinks it's a winning strategy. Right, the Ace of Cups. He thinks it's a winning strategy. By doing this, and I believe, I still sincerely believe, it was Barr and Mullah together who decided this, that it would be in the best interests of the country to not push a really rebellious, self-serving, unreliable, hideous GOP to do the right thing. I think that was as much a concern for them as anything Trump has done, right? So I'm back into thinking, because I was umming and ahhing during the week, did I misread Barr? Is he really a truly ghastly, evil person? I don't think so. I actually don't think so. So I think that was his motivation. I think that's what they decided. I think Mullah eventually let him make the decision, but I think they both understood why. And because the others were charged and will be charged with the conspiracy, not Trump. Okay. Any more questions about Barr? Let's have a think while I'm shuffling, shall we? So with Barr, has he made the right decision? Has he made the right decision? Has he made the right decision? I'll just do a 3-carder on this. Yes, well, there you go. Top card, they were at a crossroads of a decision. It's also called peace in the Thoth deck. So in the interest of peace, they risked the defeat of a big portion of what Mullah set out to do. That was that compromise. Those of you who watch all my videos will know what I mean when I talk about the compromise that Mullah made. They were prepared to do that because they were more afraid of interference. The 8 of Swords, of interference by the GOP. Because if they'd pulled out all their trump cards, in that it would always be seen as a partisan report, and it wouldn't be believed by millions of people who watch Fox News or whatever. So, you know, that makes sense to me on some level. All right, so I'm going to load this up, and then I'm going to do Trump in April while I've got the Toth deck handy. Okay. Au revoir. I'll see you soon. Bye now. Bye.